Today I'm going to do a mini lesson on how to plan to write an article like the one that you read. So if the theme is threatening stereotypes, first I came up with my rhetorical claim. My rhetorical claim, in this case my thesis statement, is going to be that making assumptions based on someone's hairstyle can lead to negative feelings as well as racial and other types of discrimination. So the first thing that I need to do is I'm going to need to come up with some main points that I want to make. So I'm going to put space for 3 main points. So let's see. I want to make a main point about hairstyles being associated with negative feelings. So let's think about some of the negative assumptions. Okay, so we can have that certain hairstyles are associated with lifestyle choices, such as drugs. I can make a point about hairstyles being associated with intelligence or personality. Actually, let's just go with personality there. And then I think I'd also like to talk about health. So then once I have these, I'm going to need to put the details that I'm going to want to put within each. So I'm going to start bullet pointing these. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and use the real outline button so that you see how to use it. So you go up to this little icon right here, numbered list, and I'm going to use this Roman numeral one so that's a real outline. So this is going to be my body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, and then now I need to come up with subpoints that I want to talk to within that. So I hit tab to get the subpoints. So for lifestyle choices, I'm going to talk about how certain hairstyles can be associated with, so I think at first I should probably talk about music, that a lot of hairstyles and music are closely tied. Hairstyles and music are closely tied, and certain music types are associated with drug use. So I think I can talk about dreadlocks to be able to bring up my husband's with reggae. I can also talk about colored hair being associated with punk rock. And then here I could find some lyrics from reggae songs that talk about drugs, maybe even dreadlocks, punk lyrics about drugs. And then I need to debunk that. So another main point will be, even though, so I could explain the logical fallacy, believing that because some people like that music, drugs. Believing that because some people who like that music do drugs suggests all people who like that music do drugs is a logical fallacy. I could make some analogies. I liked the concept about tacos that someone suggested earlier today, so that's where I would go ahead and maybe go find the person who put the comment on that. So I would go look and see. Okay, so that was Johnny and Caesar. So I can ask Johnny and Caesar about that one and make the suggestion that because a person likes tacos does not mean they are Mexican. Also, just because a person is Mexican does not mean they like tacos. Then I can analyze that. Most people would agree it's obvious, so shouldn't be the same for music. Then personality, the main points I want to talk about personality. We could talk about, I think this one we really need to just break it down in hairstyles. This idea of like blondes, assumed to be airheads or not intelligent. Or the idea that blondes have more fun. Also the concept of gingers to make fun of. And then for health, I think I want to talk about that, like shaved heads or balding. Assume that if a young person, especially a woman, shaves her head, she must have cancer. And this one, I think I want to ask a friend of mine who shaved her head about this. Or maybe this idea that, I don't know how else I could go with health on that one. I'm going to put a big question mark for now and see if I could go there. That feels like my weakest one so far right now. I think maybe, see now looking at this, if this is my weakest one, I should probably put this first. Make this number 1. Make that one number 2. And that one number 3. And then I'm going to want to gather maybe a little bit more evidence too. So I'm going to start sticking more evidence in here. So I remember there being some stuff about, like I remember hearing about a kick a ginger day. So for now, to gather some evidence, I'm going to copy this link and remind myself to read it later. Oh, it was inspired by South Park. Wonderful. I knew I didn't like that show. Put that one in there to use that later. Let's see. I remember hearing the blondes have more fun idea. Let's Google that. Blondes have more fun. Oh, it's actually an album by Rod Stewart. Interesting. See, Wikipedia is good for something. Well, blondes actually have more fun. What? That's so not true. Rod Stewart. All right, so I think maybe the thing to do there is going to be to talk about Rod Stewart. I'm going to put myself a note there. Look up Rod Stewart for where this idea originated. Here, I think I'm just going to talk about blonde jokes in general. Let's see, most popular blonde jokes. Gosh, I almost feel guilty just Googling this. I don't know that I even want to look at this. Yeah, I don't know that these are really good. These are mostly sexual, but actually let's talk about that. Most of them are sexual. Let's see, blondes, the airheads are not intelligent and they're maybe sexually promiscuous. And then let's see, for this one I'm going to need some music notes. So let's find some reggae songs about dreadlocks. Oh, look at that. Rastaman. Bob Marley's pretty famous. Let's go with Bob Marley. And look for some lyrics. I think I'm going to need to add in here. I think I'm just going to talk about famous musicians. Let's talk about Bob Marley here. Punk rock, colored hair. Oh, this is just giving me ideas. Oh, here we go. Let's start with Wikipedia for punk fashion. Let's go down to the bottom because the best place to start with for Wikipedia is actually their sources. I don't know that fashion lines are going to do it for me because we're talking about hair. Didn't find anything about hair here. So these come from 7, 8, and 10. 7, 8. So we've got some sources here. All right, now this is actually a more credible source. Looks like it's a master's thesis, so it's a little bit better. That link's not found. That one's not gonna work. So I could go back and read this later to talk about that. So I think you all get the idea now of how to start outlining your paper, and I hope this helps you get started. Let me know if you have any questions.